Hello, Morongo Basin, and listeners around the world online at Z107.7 FM.com. Here is the Z107.7 Local News for Sunday, September 29th, 2024. You can't teach someone a lesson when they're dead. That's one of the key themes of the new novel from Z107.7's own Gabriel Hart. An acclaimed author and resident of Morongo Valley, Hart's new book is called On High at Red Tide, and it's published by Pigros Publishing. Hart's book was released earlier this month, and he joined my co-host Cody Joseph and me on the Z107.7 Morning Show to discuss it, saying,
I grew up kind of on the cusp of Generation X, and I think a lot of books and movies that were around then actually had kids and growing up very fast. This is kind of my entry into that corner. It could be considered crime fiction, noir. It's a very punk rock novel, I would say. It's got kind of that hard-boiled crime fiction element, but it also has this sort of experimental prose element too. So I kind of married those two worlds. Those are kind of the spectrums I read from, so I kind of wanted to make a book that combined those two extremes. There's a bit of a murder mystery in there too. There's this haunting refrain that keeps on popping up in the book, and that's the phrase, "You can't teach someone a lesson when they're dead." I couldn't have done this without some maybe nightmares I had along the way. There's a lot of subconscious kind of stuff kind of aligning this novel.
The book takes place in the early 90s and centers around a gang of punk teenagers who use and begin to deal drugs in Laguna Beach. Hart spent a portion of his childhood in the Southern California town, and the book's depiction of how it changed over the last decade might be familiar to longtime desert residents.
I grew up in Laguna Beach. Now, Laguna Beach went through so many changes over the last 3 decades. You think of Laguna Beach now, and you think of maybe that reality show Laguna Beach. You think it's just completely sanitized and stuff, but it was like there was a time where it had this very seedy underbelly, like a lot of cities do. So I wanted to kind of explore that last gasp of that seediness of Laguna. I just felt like it was really, really ripe for exploration. There's something about beach towns, though. You get this feeling it's like the end of civilization and nothing matters anymore. Rules almost dip off into that water, you know.
Before he leaves for his multi-city book tour, Gabriel Hart has been promoting On High at Red Tide throughout the high desert. There's an event happening tonight.
I'm doing a launch event on Sunday, September 29th at the Beatnik Lounge, downtown Joshua Tree. I'm going to be reading from the book, and then Jean-Paul from Space Cowboy is actually going to be mediating a live conversation with me just about the themes of the book and stuff, so it should be pretty cool.
Tonight's event will be held at the Beatnik Lounge, located at 61597 29 Palms Highway in Joshua Tree. The event is free and begins at 7 p.m. tonight. If you can't make it tonight,
I recommend going right to pigrospublishing.com. I think it'll be the first option you'll see On High at Red Tide by Gabriel Hart. Please order direct from the publisher. I don't like to support Amazon.
Gabriel Hart's new novel, On High at Red Tide, is available now. Reporting for Z107.7, I'm Jeff Harmatz.